everybody. Welcome to our Donor Relations Guru live happy hour. I'm so excited you're joining us today. Excited to have you with us, and hopefully you are having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and you all are doing well this week. It is July 28th. The height or the middle or the nearing the end of summer, who knows? So excited to have you all with me, joining me live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Welcome. Our question for the week is, if you could perform or compete, I should say, in any Olympic sport, summer Olympic sport, what would have been what would be the dream summer Olympic sport you would like to compete in? So what is that? We're going to talk about fundraising today. But what summer Olympic sport would you love to have competed in? Or if you could do any summer Olympic sport? Okay, Sherry wants to swim. I love that. I do that a lot, but not for competition. But what would be your summer Olympic sport? Melissa is track and field. Okay. I like it. I'm trying to figure out what my summer Olympic. Macy needs a tall teammate because she wants to do beach volleyball. I don't want to do beach volleyball because of all the sand involved, and I feel like there's a lot of sand in a lot of places that would not be fun. Callie wants to do track. Hans wants to do high jump. Trisha wants to be a gymnast. Connie wants to especially do the balance beam. Heather wants to do volleyball. I think I want to do one of two things. So I was watching archery the other day, and those people are cool as all get out. So I really like archery, and I think like javelin. Like I'd love to just and launch something. My friend Angie was a collegiate shot putter, a putter. So we've got tennis. Synchronized swimming would be hilarious. Angela, I don't know if I want to stay underwater upside down. Dan, a lot of you want to swim. So you want to wear those unitard looking things, those, swimsuit unitard things. Table tennis, Holly. I like that. I like that a lot. They now have rugby, softball. The 3-on-3 basketball was cool. I know Jenny's like, not rugby. Yeah. Javelin, throwing at the heads of all the people that frustrate me, Sherry. So good to see you all. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to surf or skateboard. Those are also new sports. But yeah, it's just fascinating to me. Roman is going surfing. It's a thing this year. Like those surfers and the skateboarders have so much chill. Like they're just so much cooler than all of us, I feel like. I also want to join the Tongan delegation, and some of you would understand why I want to join the Tongan delegation. Okay, Danielle, what was your stroke? If you used to swim competitively, my dad was a swimmer, and a diver. So, I might also want to dive like off the 3-meter, but I can't flip. Olympic sewing? No, it has to be a real sport. Is breakdancing really coming in 2024? Oh, Hans, don't tell me this. The 200 butterfly. Oh, that was the whole, that's like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. The butterfly is a lot. I feel like I could do backstroke really well or freestyle, but butterfly is, you got some shoulder muscles in you. So good afternoon, everybody. It's so wonderful to see you all. Danielle's like, I'll end up on the bottom of the pool. I remember having to jump off one of those 10-meter platforms once. That was so scary. But anyway, for those of you that aren't watching the Olympics, I just asked what our Olympic summer sport would be if you had any sport to try. I'm leaning toward javelin. But I really liked watching the Korean archers. Those people were like absolutely dead on accurate, scary accurate. So, all right, what's going on in your fundraising world? You guys are saying you'd be on the bottom. I'd be floating at the top because I have a lot of buoyancy, if you know what I mean. So, it is what it is. Muscle sinks, and I'm not super muscular, so yeah, fun times. What's going on in your fundraising world? Oh, cool, Kathy. Your friend is there as an official for the women's softball. I think they got a silver medal. I mean, can you imagine getting a silver medal in the? I've had the good fortune of working with the United States Olympic and Paralympic Association for fundraising, and it's, you guys, I went out to Colorado Springs and got tours and got to meet all these people, and it was so cool. Like one of the coolest fundraising gigs of my life. So yeah, really. And I love watching the Paralympics. My friend's brother is going to be representing Ireland in the Paralympics. So I love the like competition stuff. So what's going on in your fundraising world? What's going on, in a theater near you? You're so right, Melissa. The worst Olympian is better than, I would say, a lot of us. So yeah, most of us, yeah, for sure. So what's happening? What kind of questions are bubbling up in your fundraising world? Lots of jobs out there. It's hiring season right now. Lots and lots and lots of jobs. It's a candidates market. There's a lot of good jobs out there. Check out our gigs board. All right. Got our first question from Michelle. So excited. Looking for suggestions on social media policies and procedures when it comes to hold on, I got to scroll back up, for recognition of large donors. So Michelle, I think it really is going to be one of those things where social media for corporate donors, all over the place. Love social media for corporate donors. I really think that social media is great for corporate donors. If we're talking individual donors, I like to use social media to tell their story instead. When you talk about a policy and a procedure, you definitely want to think about getting permission from the donor, finding out what platforms that they're on or that they don't mind being on. Is it a more professional post so that LinkedIn is more appropriate, congratulating that donor? Or is it they want their family and friends to see it, so they want it on Facebook or Instagram? But I really think that the guidance here I can give you is corporations, it's a natural fit, but with individual donors, you want to get a lot of permissions. And there are some organizations that do this really well in terms of, but I would do it through telling my donor story rather than, hey, Lynn, thanks for your $20,000 gift. So see if you can make it about the story. Great question. Great question. So Haley says, hey, Haley, we need to relaunch faculty giving and recognition societies. Do you? Question mark. So you know me. I'm always going to push you guys into uncomfortable land. Do you need a giving and recognition society for faculty? Or do you need to just define out what recognizing and stewardship looks like for your faculty and staff donors? I don't know that any organization, and Angie, my friend, would contradict me on this, needs recognition societies at this moment in time. I also don't know that you need a separate one for faculty and staff. I think what you need is a plan for recognition and stewardship of those donors, Haley. And I really think that you should really think about that. So yeah, maybe instead of relaunching it, it's looking at what kind of recognition you can do. Now that many people are moving back to working in person, I like to do something that can sit on their desk or a cling that can go onto their windows. At UNC Charlotte, we had these really cool proud faculty and staff donor placards that we could mail in campus mail to them. It was laminated and they could put it up. I've also seen decals at Whitworth. They have this really cool program where If you're a faculty and staff donor, they take a pine cone and they paint it teal blue, and you line up the pine cones on your desk or on your windowsill. And if you give a planned gift, you get a golden pine cone. Because I've got a golden ticket. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I do love me some Willy Wonka. So what about that, right? Like, could you do a cool flat Stanley of your mascot? I don't know. I don't think you need a society. So that's my opinion, Haley. Again, my opinion. Heather. Hi, Heather. Just started a new job. Congratulations, at a foundation for a continuing care community. Excellent. Those are really important. We're all going to need one of those someday, I think. Learning new stuff, but would love to know if anyone has tips for healthcare related foundations. I have a big tip for you, Heather, and that is join AHP, Association of Healthcare Philanthropy. So they have an entire network, an entire group of professionals that can really help you out. So that would be a big tip. And healthcare fundraising, Grateful Family fundraising is different. So immerse yourself in that world. I think that'd be great. So Sherry says you're tired of hiring. I'm sorry, Sherry. I think people forget that hiring is hard on the person doing the hiring as well, not just on the candidates and the search. I've been doing a lot of helping people hire this summer, and I have like 4 or 5 more searches to go that we're involved in personally. If you need help with searches, we have a gigs board. We can do the search for you and find you candidates, but also being really empathetic about people's environments. You know, it's not always ideal to do job interviews in your basement or in your, kitchen foyer like I am. But just trying to have compassion and know that people are trying to make really big decisions about their lives under not so great circumstances. So have some patience both for yourself and them, Sherry. You'll get there. You'll get there. Mike, you said that acknowledgments should be in any size envelope other than number 10. Yes, and especially not a window. What's your thoughts on printing letters on 4.5-inch folded note cards? I love a note card. Love a note card. Comes in a cute envelope, really senses personalization there. So remember, address labels, handwritten or print right on the envelope, right? So that's great. Good one, Mike. I'm glad to see making small changes will make a big difference in the way you communicate with your donors. So kudos to you. Callie just got ThankView. Yay, Callie. I can't wait to see. Send me one of your campaigns, Lynn at donorrelationsguru.com, and I'd love to see it. So, Eva, I'm so glad you're here. It's not about what sport you can actually do. It's about what sport would you compete in if you could. Alex says, our administration is still considering allowing in-person activities for alumni and donors on campus. What are my thoughts? So I can't remember where you're located, Alex. You may have to help me out in reminding me where you're located. But as many of you know, depending on your location, we're in very dire straits when it comes to, COVID is surging in places. Some people aren't vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, I just think we need to be careful. I think you're in Kansas City, Missouri. So Missouri is one of the states that's having huge surges right now. My friend Jean Willis lives in Kansas City. And I lived in Kansas City for a whopping 9-10 months of my life. It was fun. I think we have to follow our state guidelines and our local guidelines. And what I would say is, isn't it always better to be more cautious than it is to be out there on the cutting or bleeding edge? I think about not just protecting people who are vulnerable, but also protecting the community I'm in. So I was watching the news. I know it's hard, but I was watching the news. And I really think that it's hard for the people in healthcare begging people not to gather and asking them to be masked and all that good stuff. So, Alex, I can't consciously on Wednesday, July 28th, 2021, tell you to have big gatherings of unvaccinated or unmasked people. I think it's, but I'm not a medical professional. I've just had this gut about COVID. I don't know what it is. Angie and I were talking about this the other day. Like, I've had this gut about COVID all along where I've kind of had a little ESPN. That was a joke for those of you. And I'm not into mysticism or any weird stuff. It's just, I've been dead on about my feelings about COVID, where I said, some of us might return in person this fall, but I think there's going to be a lot of hesitancy. And now that I see COVID surging all over the states, my parents have made the decision that they're going back to only essential shopping. They're masking and gloving. I know they're in their 80s. They're vaccinated, but they just don't want to place a burden. Yeah, Alex, you're at a medical school, then no, I would not be doing things. I think your folks need to lay down and chill out and like eat ice cream and stuff. So that's what I'd be thinking about. Again, I tend to be on the more conservative side when it comes to COVID risk. After all, I'm living in a foreign country on an island with no COVID. I got a head cold this week, my first sickness since COVID. So if you hear a little, my Dayquil is wearing off, but I'm not coming back to the States until 2022 early, but that's my personal choice. So I won't be gathering. I would not feel comfortable gathering, but hey, I'm vaccinated. And, I know this is what I'm really sad about it is that this is a political issue and not a healthcare issue. And so I'm going to give you my opinion based on healthcare and just what I see from people who are telling me. So Danielle says she's working on a fresh and captivating annual fund case and messaging. So you're a K through 12 independent school. Danielle, you need to think about why you're a cause and why giving to causes matters. Why does giving to a cause matter? And how is your school a cause? So is the world a better place because we have education, and why your type of education matters? Things like that. So good. I'm glad you're refreshing. So Kathy says, have you had a chance to review the newest results from Penelope Burke? It's B-U-R-K, there's no E, and Cygnus. Yes. And we published her executive summary of her report this year. I haven't read the whole thing, but I read the executive summary. And sorry, the leaf blower guy is, of course, right on my porch right now, because that's what you need on Wednesday at 3:18 in the afternoon. Bless him. He's out there in the heat working his tail off, but now I can't hear anything. So I have reviewed it. None of the results in Penelope's report are shocking to me. I think people became more generous than ever, but fewer households are giving in 2020. Sorry, okay, now you can go, sir. There's nothing else to blow. Sorry about that. I really, really think that I'm not surprised by any of the results. I think it makes us focus even more, Kathy, on retention of donors, what matters to donors. The chart in there that I want people to focus on is why donors stop giving. And one of the big ones in there is over solicitation. That's just something to note again. And I'm inspired by the generosity of people each and every year. So that's kind of my overall. If you have revelations, I'd love to hear them. Ashley, hey Ashley, I'm trying to get in that 2021 season of giving mindset, meaning it's Christmas in July or holidays in July, to plan out fundraising content. Any predictions on this year's end of year vibe? Let me get out my crystal ball. Y'all don't want to hear this. It's so hard. I feel like I'm so transparent, but I feel like it's so hard. I think until we get a hold of the Delta variant and the unvaccinated and the spread right now of coronavirus, I think holidays may be hard. I'm hoping by then we get our poop in a group. That is my technical term for getting our ducks in a row. Like someone once said to me, I don't have ducks and they're not in a row. I have squirrels and they're at a rave. And I feel like our squirrels are at a rave right now. And so, Ashley, I want to be optimistic. I think people will continue to be generous. Do I think, I mean, financially, I think end of the year will be okay. We're seeing worker shortages everywhere. We're seeing supply chain disruption. I think the end of year vibe needs to be what we're grateful for. I think the end of year vibe, if I were planning it, would be to count our blessings, to think about the small things that bring everyday happiness, whether it be a hug from your grandmother, being able to see your brother for the first time in a year and a half, students being in classrooms, for some people, football being on the field. But I think we're going to have to be very cautious when it comes to year-end messaging. We don't know what's going, we just don't know what it's going to look like right now. So, and gosh, but I feel like the United States especially is becoming more and more divided every day. I thought it would calm down, but it's really getting bad. So yeah. Michael, wonder where the comments are coming from, not LinkedIn. I'm live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, Michael. So thank you for your question. So yeah, I hope that helps. Ashley, I don't have concrete answers. I'm happy to be vulnerable with you and say I don't know. But I'd be thinking about what are some universals? What are things we're all having in common? We miss our traditions and our rituals. We miss our gatherings, whether small or large. We miss not having to think about things 10 times before doing them. Like people ask me, so what is it like living on an island? And I'm like, well, it's great. But what is it like living without COVID? And I don't have to think about who I'm gathering with. I don't have to think about where they've been and where their family's been and do they have kids and are they unvaccinated? And because we're pretty vaccinated, we have a herd immunity pretty much here. We have zero COVID coming, we're closed. And so I don't have those thoughts every day, which is one of the reasons I'm here, because it helps with my anxiety disorder. I'm here because of my mental health, and I'm comfortable talking about mental health. I'm so glad Simone Biles, she has the Twisties, which Google the Twisties and Google how it affects your mental health. I can't imagine flipping and twisting in the air and having anxiety. I can barely sit upright some days when I have anxiety. So, I just don't know what our emotions are going to be like in 2020, the end of 2021. Ashley, I'm worried that we're going to have a lot of people who are crispy and frazzled. I think we're going to have a lot of people questioning their life choices around people, and questioning their life choices around their job, and questioning their life choices about where they live. So lots of big changes are happening in people's lives. So sorry I went on a little long about that, but yeah. Stanton, what is the suggested wording I can use on hard copied mailed invitations, RSVPs for donor events about vaccinations and requirements to attend? I have not been asked this yet. I think you have to be honest. So you're in Southern North Carolina. So Stanton, not everybody in your area is vaccinated. Are you requiring vaccines in order to come to your event? If you are, then you need to say, kindly understand that we would prefer that if you attend, you have completed your vaccination course plus 14 days or whatever's. I would get that information from your medical team or from your medical communications team, Stanton. Or maybe are you following local guidelines or business? It depends on what guidelines you're following. You don't want to say if you're not vaccinated, you can't come, but that's kind of what you want to say. It is what I'm hearing. But if I'm wrong, let me know. Or you could say, kindly attend if you are vaccinated or masked. So I guess, do you want people there that are not vaccinated if they're willing to wear masks the whole time? So yeah, be honest, be straightforward, and spell out what you do or don't want. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't beat around the bush. Don't be like, we'd love to have you. Be like, this event is for vaccinated only people, or this event is for vaccinated only, or those with medical, requirements that can't be vaccinated but are willing to wear a mask. And so I think you just have to be really clear. Maybe somebody else on here has some suggestions for you. Sorry. I'll think about it as well while I answer other questions. Abby Ray. Hi, Abby. Do you recommend getting a CRM that you can directly send marketing campaigns from? Yes. And if you're a small organization, Bloomerang is hands down the best go-to solution. Amazing, wonderful. Bloomerang. I can't recommend it enough. If not, any advice on how to maintain correct contact information between MailChimp and a CRM. MailChimp has an API. You can use Zapier, Zaps. We use Zaps. And so Zaps can tell you when people unsubscribe, and they can update that into your CRM. But it's easier if you have a database, a CRM like Bloomerang, that has email integrated into it. So that's great. Karina is telling us the success story of where she highlighted successful female alumni donors on social media in honor of International Women's Day. I love that. You posted them throughout the month. Okay. Trisha. Hi, Trisha. Dominican University is beginning to plan our annual brunch event. Love that. Love a brunch. Is it a boozy brunch? Because on island, everything's a boozy brunch. Brunch is a whole culture here. You start with brunch, and then it devolves into Sunday fun day. So it usually involves brunch and a boat and just bottomless things. And then you end up in a sunburnt and happy somewhere. And it's like 7 p.m. and you're done. It's fun. In previous years, the event was an indoor sit-down lunch. Yeah, no thanks. This year's brunch will be outdoors, and we may not have space for tables and chairs for all. Looking for ideas to how to make the event feel special. Habu, do you have to serve a whole meal? Could you have a smoothie or an acai bowl brunch? Do you have to serve, full food? Again, when you have food and you don't have COVID. When you have food and you have COVID precautions, that's where the world gets complicated, right? Could you do brunch in phases? Like, could you do 2 seatings of brunch? So could you do a 9 a.m. and an 11 a.m.? So that's another, doing it in rounds. Outdoors is especially going to be effective. Again, Trisha, you're also going to have to figure out at Dominican in October where you are. You're in California, so you may have state, local, or regional guidelines that you may have to follow with a certain capped number of attendees, because California has been very restrictive. So you may be restricted out. I don't know what it's going to look like. But yeah, so serving food, I don't think I'll ever go back to a buffet and look at it the same way I did pre. Also, could you do like a small charcuterie box, like a little picnic lunch where you set out blankets and people could, you're in California, can they sit on the ground? Could you do poof seating or just alternate seating that doesn't have to be tables and chairs? So just giving you some ideas. We make tables out of sand here. Oh, Elizabeth's giving you ideas. Holly likes my smoothie idea. Yeah, anything single serve, anything that can be packaged up. So yeah, that's kind of what you would think about. So just giving you some ideas there. Okay, let me scroll back up. Okay, hi Lisa, recent grad of a Master's of Science in Administrative Philanthropy Fundraising, looking into midlife career transition from my present project management of strategic communications to donor relations. I have CRM experience, executive support in my degree. What are the things that should I focus on? I want to grow and develop, but am I shortchanging myself by starting at the executive assistant level? Lisa, I think it depends on you. if I were you, we've had some success, a lot of success this summer. Angie Jones, Angie at donorrelationsguru.com. Angie is our certified executive coach, and she's helped a bunch of people this summer transition out of their job and into the philanthropic world. You might want to book some hours with her. She's reasonable, and she's helped people land. We also have a vast connection of people looking. I wouldn't necessarily shortchange myself into an executive assistant for donor relations. I would also consider coordinator level positions or an assistant director. There's no such thing as shortchanging. We all start somewhere. I started as a coordinator, worked my way up. It takes a long time to work your way up. So, you have project management skills. You have a degree. What we need to see is, what's your working life like? What are you like in an office, or what do you do? What kind of tech skills do you have? All of that good stuff. So reach out. But also the other thing you can do is, if you have a local area, I don't know where you are locally, but well, I guess it doesn't matter as much anymore. Or ask people at local places where you want to think about working for informational interviews. I've never been turned down. I've never had one of my candidates be turned down for an informational interview. I know that I could connect you with someone in your area that you can do an informational interview. Just find them on my LinkedIn. I'd be happy to connect you. And so ask for those informational interviews, because even though I might not have a job right now, for example, if you did an informational interview and I was working at a position where I'm filling in for someone right now, a lot of folks are outsourcing their donor relations to us this year and next year. And so I'm going to be hiring 3 new positions. I just don't have them posted yet. So if you did an informational interview, you would have an in already with looking at whether or not that position would be good for you. So Angie at donorrelationsguru.com is our executive coach. That is what she does. She leads a team of 70 people. She's an amazing coach. She is the job whisperer, and she's very, very talented about getting people ready for the market. So happy to help you. Great question. Keep up the faith. In higher education, hiring takes forever, so don't lose your mojo. We will put you through our paces, 11 interviews over 3 days, like round after round after round of interview. It's kind of like a marathon. So hang in there and don't get impatient. And I'll tell you, the secret is who you know, but it's also how you treat the scheduler. So when I'm interviewing candidates, when I'm interviewing people, how you treat Shannon, my concierge, makes a big damn difference. So you treat the admin poorly, yep, and personalize everything. No dear sirs. Your cover letter, we actually read it. Yeah, we've got tons of tips on our blogs as well, so Google search those as well. Macy, we've had email opt-out issues since 2018 when we updated our opt-out language, and it was aggressive. Arr, 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 arr. Lots of I consent language. Went from averaging 4,500 unsubscribes per year to 9,900. Wow. Even the university president and current alumni president accidentally opted out. We're fixing the language, but any tips for doing outreach to those that we lost in the last 3 years? Yes. So Macy, there is such a law in the United States called the CAN-SPAM Act, just so you know. So you can't start spamming and messaging them and everything like that. What you can do is you can send them a communication that says, oops, we think we got it wrong. We want to show you the types of communications we want to send you, and giving them a double down on their opt-out. Like, I don't want to receive solicitations, or please. And so you could do a donor communication preference survey as well, and then you can change it. But it will be hard to do in the software because you'd have to add them all back in manually. And if you start doing that, sometimes it triggers a flag. So you're going to have to think about the logistics of how you're doing that as well. And so something for you to think about. So just something for you to think about is the logistics of that. So great question. Okay, let's see. Mike, higher ups are asking if printed letters and note cards are good for what dollar amounts? And do you have stats on success for this? Oh, cute that they're asking what dollar amount. So I don't believe in dollar amount stratification. That's elitist and not really DE&I. We thank donors based on their behavior, not how much they give. So it's not a dollar amount thing, Mike. It's about the behavior of the donor. And do we have stats for success? Yes, read Penelope Burke's donor-centered fundraising. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of stats about when you thank a donor, their gift goes up. So I love that people ask, does thanking donors work? Because it's just so clear how effective it is. Kathleen, Lynn, can you share the names of the graphic designer you've used? Oh, I have the best graphic designer in the business. He does donor relations for nonprofits and higher ed. He's fantastic. I can't brag on him enough. And you can tell him I sent you, but let me pull up his website. He's going to get married soon. It's exciting times for him. Here is his website, and let me give you his email address as well. His name is Tyler, and he runs Wessel Creative. He's won so many case awards we stopped counting. Kathleen, I put all my faith and all my clients who need communication resources all use Tyler. So we use him for campaign launches, blurb books, videos, I mean, just rebranding. He's a genius. So you can book an appointment with him. Again, he's just really, really brilliant. So he is my creative guy and works with all my clients and is just fantastic. So good luck, and he's fantastic. So I can't say enough nice things. Michelle, we're supposed to start back full-time on Monday at your university, okay? I'll be closing my door and keeping people away. That's fine. You can also be masked, Michelle. Don't forget that. But September 17th, we're having our first in-person groundbreaking outside, masked, and food will be single serve. I think that's the best you can hope for, unless, of course, Michelle, and we always have to keep the door open to this, a proverbial door, that guidelines may change in your area depending on where you live. So you may have to cancel your event or radically change it. So just welcome back to unsuredness, right? DePauli, hi DePauli. Can you recommend a donor survey that asks our stakeholders how they feel about in-person events and if they would attend, why and when? Yeah, we call that an event readiness survey, and a lot of my folks have been doing those simple 5 questions. What's your comfort level attending an event where there are unvaccinated and vaccinated people? What's your comfort level attending an event with X number of people at it, indoors, outdoors, all kinds of good stuff like that. So yeah, 5 questions, keep it simple, Survey Monkey, something like that would be really great. Leslie, hi Leslie. At your liberal arts college, you have up-leveled impact reporting, yay, for all endowed fund donors. And now there's a call for individualized stewardship plans for campaign donors. Okay, Leslie. So you've done so well, they've decided to punish you with more work. Love that. What's the best way to approach creating ISPs or individual engagement plans for 15 to 20 principal gift donors with the principal gift team and donor relations small team? So creating 15 to 20 principal gift individual engagement plans is a full-time job for one FTE. So I would back up the bus and say maybe 5 to 10 plans. We actually have webinars and related content to teach you how to create individual engagement plans. We also can help you do that as a consultancy firm. But the first and most important thing, and we cover that also in our donor relations course that we just launched, but the first and most important thing is getting 12 deep dive questions answered about the donors so that you can build out and getting your individual engagement plan template set. Once you do those two things, then you can start rolling on them. But it takes a lot of strategy and thought, and you're talking a 12 to 18 month stretch of planning for that. You have to figure out who executes it. You need a really great project manager. You're really going to have to think about who's going to do the work, how it's going to get done, what is your budget going to be. So happy to chat with you at any time around that. But don't say 15 to 20, say 5 to 10. Start with your top 5 donors that are most important, and then go from there. Because you'll be shocked at how much work top donor custom stewardship is. Macy, what island I'm on Grand Cayman in the Cayman Islands. I'll show everybody at the end. So Stanton says, we're saying, tell us your vaccination status when you RSVP. I don't know that that's as effective, because what does it matter if you're having mixed vaccinated and unvaccinated? I don't know. Jennifer says, I would confer with counsel. I love that idea, Jennifer. Yeah, legal. Abby Ray, I'm glad you're checking out Bloomerang. They're the best. Okay, Michelle, I meet with each major gift officer to go over their top 1 to 2% of donors and use an Excel spreadsheet organized by month so you can see at a glance if you're touching donors at least once a quarter. Good, Michelle. The idea there would be, can you track it in your database of record or in a project management tool, not necessarily Excel, something that integrates. That's kind of her top donor, the way she manages the reminder system. So good. Kathleen, we are working to develop a system-wide acknowledgement process. Oh, bless it. Oh, those are so hard. That needs to incorporate multi-level approvals. Does anyone have any experience with tools that they've used to manage this? We just recently rolled out Office 365. So within Teams in Office 365, there is an approvals and task framework that you can use. So you could assign the task to someone to approve and do that. I'm concerned about system-wide acknowledgement processes. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on those. So you may want to touch base on us, touch base with us on that. Got some opinions on that for you as to whether or not it's a good use of your time and your resources. So just something to think about while you're doing that. So again, just giving you some advice there. So yeah. Let's see. Love the charcuterie box idea. Yes. Okay, I've given you Angie's contact. Heather, I started as an admin and moved up to executive director. Yep, I agree. When you're an assistant or a coordinator, you're exposed to lots of things. Good luck to those of you who are search. Karen, you want to move from higher education to nonprofit. It's a whole new world. Healthcare is different, higher education is different, nonprofit is different. So each one demands different things. Each one has different pay, has different resource levels. We have folks on our team that have dealt with all of them, so we're happy to help you navigate that for you. So glad. Okay, Tyler's information is there. If you need a graphic designer, brand, he's amazing. Video, anything. Maddie, hi Maddie. We're in the process of reevaluating our major gifts caseload. How many years of no gifts before we move them off? Before you move them off, you don't move them off, you move them on to someone else. So y'all who have been hanging out with me for weeks and months and years and all that good stuff know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's shot of tequila. What that means by that really bad joke is, but I do love tequila, Casamigos and, Don Julio and all those friends of mine, is that not everybody's a fit. So I try to find the right fit with my gift officer. So if you get no gifts in 3 years, no gifts is pretty stark. Are they answering the calls? Are they responding to the interactions? If they're taking your meeting and they're still not giving, then you got some work to do. So I really want you to think about maybe transferring them to a different gift officer. Again, not everybody has the right personality for everybody. And there's this wonderful book called Asking Styles. If I could spell asking, I would type it out for you. It's by my friend Brian Saber. I'm going to send you to his website. He's a great speaker as well. And he helps you identify, if you're a gift officer, based on your asking style, what types of donors are best for you. So it's a great book, and he's got great presentations around it. He's a great trainer. For example, I'm really great with hedge fund guys, sports guys, oil guys. I'm really great with the hard charging, big ego SOBs. Give them to me. The bigger the a-hole, the better. I love them, and I love getting their money, and I love making them cry. And I am not great with grannies. I'm not great with women with lots of feelings. That is not, that's not my jam, right? Like, don't give me your college of social work or education or nursing. Give me your business tycoons. I will bring them to their knees, and I will get all their money. That's just what they seem to jive with me, and so think about the style of the person. Think about the personality of the donor and who you're matching them with. I scare human beings, believe me. I make people cry at work, not on purpose. People get scared so easily by a woman who is self-confident and assertive and tough tit, So not my problem, sounds like other people's. So we'll get over it. But in the middle of my rock hard exterior, not this exterior, but this exterior, I am such a blubber gut kind person. People have no idea, but not to be toyed with. So I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. I'm an ESTJ. I'm a strategic ideation, futuristic, competitive significance. I got no woo. I got no empathy. I got no harmony. So harmonies are for songs, people. Let's get to work. I really wanted to say that in a meeting the other day, but that's fine. Trisha, so Michelle and Trisha are kind of feeling the same thing. Michelle said the guidelines have changed daily for the past 3 weeks at her workplace or where she is. So we're back in the same storm, different boats life, I think. So tips on hybrid events. How do you make the folks viewing online not feel second fiddle? You have to have a separate event production team for your online event than you have your in-person event. And not all events lend themselves to online events. So I don't want to watch people mix and mingle. That is not interesting to me. I need to have people be involved. I need to have something. So you got to kind of think about, what is the event experience for me as an online attendee versus what is the event experience for everyone else, so who's in person. So there's parts of the event I don't need to be a part of, the mix and mingle, the registration, stuff like that. But maybe I want to watch the show, right? Again, with online events, you're producing a show. That's really what you're doing. You're putting on a show, whether it's live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, or whether it's hosting your administration, whatever it is, you're producing a show. So you want it to be engaging and laughter and enlightening. And if you think you're going to get bored 5 minutes in, you're going to get bored 5 minutes in. So don't do that to people. That's not nice, right? So Tori is confirming that her back to mask indoors starting Friday. Vaccinated or not, masks are required again. Right. Everybody's changing. I think we've done so many online events, hybrid event, webinars and stuff. Trisha, check some of those out. Eventbrite and BizBash are having some tips on that. I would say shorter than you think it wants to be, different content, and make sure you have a great event producer. Those are all things I think about when it comes to virtual or hybrid events. And again, I really think there's going to be 3 types of events moving forward. Events that are solely online, where we're engaging online like this. This is an event, technically. I invited you to my party and you came. We're going to have hybrid events, so events that have both an in-person and an online component. And then we're also going to have strictly in-person events. And we need to know when is the right time to have each of those, who is the right audience for them. And we have to be careful about our audiences. You know, we underestimate people. We might say, oh, well, our legacy giving folks need to be in person. No, your planned giving donors are going to want to be remote. My parents are like, batten down the hatches, Lynn Marie. That's my full name. And they're not going anywhere except out once a month now because they are treating everybody as if they've got, my dad calls it the COVID. My dad also calls Epcot at Disney Epcot. So he's not good with English, but he's a whiz at math and chemistry. So everybody has their strengths, right? But I think my dad mispronounces things just to make me giggle, but he calls it the COVID. He's like, everybody's out there's got the COVID. And I'm like, okay, Dad, stay home, stay safe, you know, tend to your garden, love on mom, be happy. And he's like, you're the smartest person ever out there. Oh, that's nice, Callie. We've started using the word gathering instead of an event. I call it an experience instead of a gathering, right? So I do the same thing. Disney has guest experience, so I'm big on donor experience. I like that. And some vocabulary can change. There are many event companies that are fantastic to help guide you through hybrid events. Eventive has flourished. We use Wired Productions Group. They do both in-person and virtual events for us, and they've been great, so we really like them. Tell Ron I said hi. I don't recommend the company unless I know the person that owns it because it's important that we have accountability. Nope, it's not The Conjuring. Nope. I used AirMeet for an online event. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Michelle, I love that. I love that we learn each week from each other. So this week we're going through, you know, get the last of your end of summer vacations are happening. School supplies. Maybe that's what we'll talk about next time. Like, what was your favorite school supply? Since we did the Olympics. And if you don't know what Olympic sport you're going to perform in and compete in, you got to get your Olympic sport. We'll get a team together. Boy, those athletes sure do inspire me to think about their journey their whole lives. And then they were ready for 2020 and then the rug got pulled out from under them. And so just how amazing that is. Sherry, event production, any Canadian recommendations? Well, I know that Ron has a passport, so he can travel across the border. I will find out from my friends at Alberta who they use. They do really great events. So, okay, Stacy's going to do 3-on-3 basketball. A Gamecock won the gold medal, so yay, Alicia. But I do love some 3-on-3. That was really cool to watch. I agree. Okay, so as always, last time I forgot to do this, and y'all didn't call me on it, but I didn't take y'all outside. It might have been raining. I'm not sure. 2 weeks ago is a long time in my mind. So let's see here. We're gonna have to open the door and get y'all outside. Archery's my jam. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna become an archer here. Ooh, we hot. We hot today. Okay, everybody. Here's your Zen moment of the week. There's the sea, and it's a nice, like, glassy day. Let's see. No boats out either. No, it's really quiet. There's nobody on the water. Maybe it's because it's Wednesday and everybody's chill on Wednesday. Oh, thanks, Leanne. I'm fine. It's just a cold. Don't worry about me. But your moment of serenity today. A little bit of beach action. You want some beach? That's my beach. Wait, hold on. That's my beach. The Bleefly Flow guy, he does. He did a great job. Yes, they do a great job around here. They're fantastic. So Yeah, it's not fun to be snotty, especially when it's hot outside. I had soup yesterday and was like, oh, it's hot soup. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I work hard, I work all day, Kathleen, believe me. I face the view and let everybody else have my kitchen. So thank you all so much, and I will talk to you all. Email us anytime at info@donorrelationsguru.com, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much.